Welcome to J.A.M Media, or J.A.M for short, where I have passionate conversations with the people that excite me. Today I'm joined by the 21st century success story, Matty Wahlberg. How you doing?
Bro, I couldn't be better, to be honest.
If I'm not mistaken, you've only sort of been on the scene for a short time. When did you start training and when did you debut?
So I started training probably about almost 2 years ago now.
Okay.
And then I had my debut match in March this year. So it's kind of only been about 8 months or so far. But a lot of stuff's happening very quickly, which is exciting.
Yeah, you seem to have risen through the ranks fairly quickly.
Yeah, you'd say so, I think there's a lot of opportunities when you work for certain companies and wrestling really quality talent. So it's helped me a lot being able to train with those kind of people.
Yeah, and you've obviously a bit of a sports fan with the jerseys every show.
100%. I love sports.
Yeah. Did that help? Did you have an athletic background before getting into training?
Like, a little bit. I did MMA for about 6 years. So I always played different type of sports, but that was my main. Once I got into that when I was about 17, that was my base, basically. But I've always wanted to play everything. I wasn't good at everything originally, but I found now, later on, that's helped me a lot.
Yep. What inspired you to go from sort of MMA into wrestling?
I was always like, when I was little, I loved wrestling. Like, that was my thing. And then I guess when I was a teenager, UFC started to become a thing, and it kind of took my interest. So then I was like, I kind of want to do that. And it was fun. I loved doing it, but it was like a full-time job. And so I used to train Rob Whittaker, UFC champ, if you know who he is. Yep. And like, to see what he had to go through to be who he was, I was like, I didn't know if I could make that commitment. I didn't enjoy getting punched in the face every day either. So this only get punched on the weekends now. So like during the week, I kind of have a bit of a break. But I think it was just, I got to a stage where I was like, I need to do this. Like, it's something I've always wanted to do. And the opportunity presented itself, and yeah.
And do you have plenty of sports jerseys? Because you wear a new one every show.
I think I've got about 30 now. 30 at the moment. So it's building quite rapidly. Yep. When I started like my matches, I had about 10. But now I can't help it now. It's like my addiction, unfortunately.
Yeah, expensive little thing to have.
Depends. If you know the right Chinese website, not as expensive as you think.
Yeah,
but I didn't tell you. You didn't hear it from me.
And what are some of your favourite teams?
So in the NBA, I love the Spurs. I've always got players I like more than teams a lot of the time, but I love the Spurs. And then NFL, I'm a huge Eagles fan. And then there's South Carolina for one of the college teams. I've got them tattooed on my foot. I love South Carolina. That's my team for everything. Football, basketball, whatever they play. That's what I'm usually following in college football.
Yeah, nice. Back to wrestling.
Yeah.
Australia's had a pretty fantastic year this year.
Oh, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Has having those opportunities to learn and train with some of the guys that have come out helped?
Oh, I can't even talk about how amazing this year's been. We had, especially with PWA, we got the opportunity to work with Will Ospreay earlier in the year, which, if anyone who was at that session, it was only one session, but the stuff we did there was just like incredible. His passion just really shone through. We had Mike Quackenbush in for a week, so as someone who loves Shikara and the American Indies, having him for a whole week and all day, he was there 9 a.m. till 9 o'clock at night in sessions, was amazing. And then recently we got to go work with the Carter in Melbourne, and it's just consistent getting to work with incredible talent. We saw Austin Aries last week, had a chat to us and things like that, but that's helping so much. And I think it's showing in the shows. You go to a lot of the shows, you've seen the quality of the wrestling I feel this year has improved dramatically, especially with the newer guys coming up. They're getting on the shows and they're good straight away instead of kind of having that base where it's like, oh, they're a bit awkward at first. And those sessions are helping that 100%.
Yeah, I've really noticed that. The guys are coming through and they're up there straight away, they know what they're doing.
Because usually you have the guys come in and you're like, oh, he's new. Oh, it's a bit awkward, it's a bit weird because they're new. But all the guys debuting right now, we've got Kai Drake, Luciano. As soon as they start wrestling, Ricky South, as soon as they're in the ring,
Ricky's killing
it's incredible. And you wouldn't know that they're first year in and things like that. Like, no one would know Ricky South his first year in if they didn't know him kind of personally, things like that. So because of these sessions, the talent when they come in are as good as it gets, I feel.
Yeah. And what does sort of next year hold for you and the companies you work for?
So I think next year already, like January and February is packed, and we've got all these new internationals who want to come to Australia. Like, everyone wants to come to Australia now, which is something that we tried to start this year. If you saw Mick Moretti has the You're Gonna Notice Us campaign, he started it. He was like, we're going to make this a thing, and now people want to come here. We've got Jonah and Adam Brooks in PWG, like, things are starting to build, and I think that's going to continue next year. And I think it's on the bubble. I think it's about to explode, where the UK, probably in the last few years, has been the hot scene. Everyone wants to be in the UK. I think that's going to be Australia next, personally.
And are there any sort of dream matches that you'd like to have someone come over and take on?
Realistically, if I could choose anyone, it'd be Chris Hero. He's always been my favourite. I take a lot of my kind of like style from early Chris Hero. He used to be in Ring of Honor, so that would be an absolute dream match. But then probably also Montez Ford in NXT, who loves red cups too apparently. So maybe people would think that would be a good match, but who knows?
Yeah, Chris Hero would probably be a bit of a painful match though.
Probably, especially with those elbows and things like that. When I first got into Chris Hero, was before he used to do all like the hard strikes. He used to do a lot of agile stuff, especially when you look at him now. He's so big. You're like, how would he do it? But he's incredible, and I like love nip ups and all those type of real athletic stuff. So if I can get in there and hopefully avoid a few elbows, it'd probably be a bit of fun.
Yeah, and then sort of more long term, are you looking to transition overseas and tour a bit over there?
Well, I'd love to. There's an opportunities with us with Shikara. I have trained there before in the past in the States, and I'd love to go back if I have the opportunity. I think if I did go anywhere, it'd definitely be America. There's a few other people who, Japan's a huge goal, or the UK. If I got to wrestle on a Shikara or an American Indie, like that's my dream, mate. I'd be happy, like if that was it, kind of thing. So that's kind of where I'm headed, hopefully.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for your time. And
Pleasure,
good luck
man.
on your shows.
Thank you very much.
And if you enjoyed this interview, please like the channel, subscribe, and head on over to jameyapsmedia.com so I can continue to bring you more interviews in the future. Thanks.